Hey everybody, it's Marty, the JavaScript party, and my buddy Rhett back there. I think the last few videos she's been causing chaos. I was actually thinking another really good side effect of having her on these videos is like you have to. So most people like really don't understand the concept of what they're going to be dealing with if they get a parrot. And I remember when my wife was going back and forth because she was gonna adopt buy Rhett from somebody. Um, the She was telling her, I was like, well, make sure you tell her that our house is really dynamic. There's like lots of stuff going on all the time because at the time we had like a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old child, and then like a 12 very active 12-year-old, and the house, and we had like 5 dogs, and the house was just crazy, right? And it was like this this poor bird is probably used to this quiet environment and all that. And so my wife was explaining that to the person that we were purchasing her from, and the lady's like, oh my god, she'll love that. And it's so true. Like, birds are very, very, like, they like a lot of action and stuff in their life, and if they don't get a lot of action, they get really loud. um, so she tends to do this a lot. The only time she gets really, really quiet will be if she's sleeping, or if the TV. If we're watching TV, she likes to watch TV. Um, but so if you're ever thinking about getting a bird, you got to realize they're generally presented on TV as like these very quiet, sort of demure creatures, but generally they're pretty loud and pretty rambunctious and very hierarchical. So they're very likely to be a bit aggressive towards new people, or something like that. So, anyways, yeah. So there's that. Um, so last time I made changes so they would look better and they would resize better, and you know what? I guarantee those changes broke the test. So today I was thinking, oh, okay, I'm gonna commit what I have, um, and then once I and then move and then kind of move forward to the next steps, which I think the next steps will be to be start creating services, and breaking these things out. Like, one thing I was thinking about today is like, in my world that I'm trying to sort of craft here, there's going to be something that handles all interactions with 3JS. And so, like, this right here, this is an interaction with 3JS. There's also going to be all things that like, um, maintain the state, which will be a completely separate thing. And this uh, is the like, this is state, right? Like, this, the current X, the sizes, all that. Those are the state. The All this perspective camera stuff. That's all the state. So that's one piece, and then there'll be a third piece that just handles all animations and calculations and stuff, and all of that is in here. See, like, this set of code, and it updates the state. Um, so this set of code here is just like all three different things that I'd like to tease out into different pieces, because they got, first of all, the anything that was in the last view that was at all involved with animation. So any of this sort of thing here got insanely complicated, almost impossible for me to maintain. So I definitely want to redo that and make that better. And then I had thought that, like, the best way to determine the rotation of something on in 3JS would be to go to 3JS, and that is true. But the problem is there's certain things that are not true, and so by default our camera looks at 0 0. um, I don't think we set that here, but like, so you could, I believe you could say, uh, like, camera sorry, not look at, and you could tell it where to look. And then if you move the camera, what happens is where it looks isn't the same, right? Because what it does is it keeps the camera in the same spot and then it moves. And that's something we learned in the last video. Well, it doesn't calculate what it's looking at. So, like, let's say you wanted it to stay looking at a fixed spot, you have to completely reset it and all that. So, anyways, maintaining this, the camera doesn't even have a look at um, property that you can read. So that's one of many things that you just cannot maintain. Also, like how big of a like the the like how big these movements are and all that is not anything at all native to ThreeJS. You know, you're just setting it. It just shows it. And then the drawing piece, the render piece, I definitely want to be its own thing completely. Um, so, anyways, because but anyways, the point is this stuff is a whole bunch of different concepts that I definitely want to split out, and it probably will seem like it's over engineered at first, but it really isn't. But so I was gonna do a commit, but one thing if you are gonna do unit tests and if you are gonna do end-to-end testings, you should never commit anything. I don't think um, that is broken. Like broken things should really in code in general. I don't think you should ever commit broken code unless you absolutely have to. And if you're going to do unit tests and end-to-end testing, I think that is part of the not of the code, and so you shouldn't. And in my personal opinion, and that is subject to change, but at this juncture, I don't think you should ever commit code with broken tests. So since we know that this test is going to be broken for our unit tests, um, we are going to make sure there are no broken tests when we're done. Which I think because of because the one thing that was nice is they did set up a good like more than one unit test. So I think it makes sense uh, to just get rid of this, right? I don't think we uh, need um, need that, but maybe we should, change it to where it's like um, exists or something like select the canvas and expect it to exist. Um, but I think we could just get rid of it. Okay, so the first one failed. Okay, so it shows it sort of in backwards order. So the one that failed is undefined, expected undefined to contain space and time, and that's because there is no div there. Um, so I think the best thing to do at this point would be this, since we aren't really going to have a title. Um, so let's go ahead and just hit save. And I have mixed feelings about testing things in the component um, in unit tests. Like I feel like unit tests should be just testing like functions and stuff that are in the type scripted in services. But I don't know. I used to be very very against it, and now I'm like leaning against it. But I'm just going to go with it for now. Um, so anyway, so I thought that was good. Unfortunately, yeah, that's right. I always forget that you can't just kill the browser to kill the unit test. Okay, so that is good. And now I think we have a problem in our um, um, in our end-to-end test. So let's go ahead and get that fixed. Um, package.json. And I actually want to try Cypress run instead of Cypress open. I'm curious what that will do. And I don't know why it's not killing that. Yes. Okay. npm run Cypress run. I think Rhett might be mesmerized by the UI here. Is it fine? Do you like it? One thing that Red Hat has really done for us over time is help us moderate our language. We used to have, okay, so it just showed it in here. Oh, that's pretty cool, browser, Electron. Oh, so that's how they accomplished headless. So I don't know exactly how to read this. I guess it's running it right now. Yeah, so it said, hey, there's one failed. Um, so the okay, so the problem is in our test. So I believe it's in this folder. Oh, well, that's neat. I think we should take a quick look at that, a gander at that. Oh, that is really neat. So it showed a picture the of it. Um, so I can't remember where our test is. I think it's I doubt it's, yeah, it's probably E to E, yeah, home. So this is our test, and contains, and so it's supposed to contain that. Okay, so get, and so if we look in here, if we were to inspect this, we'll see that we have a canvas. So I wonder if we can get, man, oh, that's pretty cool. Canvas. And then I don't know what to do. What can we do? Dot. Get cookies, get go hash. Man, there's so much to learn. All right, ChatGPT. So, with Cypress, how can I check if a canvas element exists? So if that's enough information. Should exist. So I feel like I could definitely have, that's like a good example of something that I probably could have found like on Stack Overflow or something like that. But it's just like so much easier to do it this way. Open. Probably should have just had it open so we wouldn't have to wait for it to open up. Um, I was talking to a person this weekend who he owns a business that has a bunch of virtualizations, and apparently one of their main uh, one of their main businesses, or one of the main customers, are people who are teaching their AIs. Teaching AIs. They'll just have millions of them running at one time, learning, and I can't remember where I was going with this, but he was just like, he was like, oh, it's gonna be replacing coders and all that, and I was like, I have never ever been able to get it to write more than maybe 4 lines of code, 5 lines of code that worked. Generally it won't. He goes, but does it speed you up? And I said, yes, it definitely helps someone who knows what they're doing, but it does not. Okay, so we're good now. We are passing. So I think it is appropriate to go through and commit everything because we have our passing unit tests, which we kind of cheated a little bit. We just deleted the failing one. And then our passing. Dude, that looks so cool. Um, uh, Passing unit tests, and we have our passing um, end-to-end tests. So let's look at our package. So this is what we had to do after getting ThreeJS. This is we changed it from contained space of time to saying, hey, our canvas should exist. Home page. This was I don't think we want to store this image, but damn, that is so cool. That is such a godly Cypress is just like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. Like I still, the jury's still out if I feel like it's something worth doing. But damn, are they not? Is it not slick? It is just like one of the slickest pieces of software I've ever seen in my life. I think it's just amazing. All right, so this is our basic. This is going to be, try to figure out what the video, I think this is going to be video 7. Yeah, this is going to be video 7, and it basically has our complete ThreeJS implementation. So let's say git status, git commit -m, video 7 implements this in. All right, so yeah, and that definitely goes under the getting started. So yeah, as far as like the Jasmine unit tests go, I think they're really good. I feel like it's gotten me, having the unit tests has gotten me sort of thinking about things that are probably very good. And like if you ever look back at any of the other videos of the previous application, like the create meshes, there's like a dozen meshes that you could create, and all of that stuff's all just rolled up in one big mega function. Like that never would have happened if I'd been using unit tests. So I'm definitely leaning more and more towards liking unit tests. I definitely do over time. That's when I iterate on. I will sometimes I'm just totally all about unit tests, and then sometimes I'm like all not about unit tests. I definitely think that unit tests are botched. We're completely botched in most places that I work, but I do think that um, I think they're really good, and I do think they are a great way to document your application. End-to-end testing, I just don't even know. I know that every place I've ever worked, they were botched. Basically, they took an enormous amount of time to run, like upwards of 2 days, and a minimum of like 3.5, 4 hours. And it was mostly at waiting. So there'd be these 60-second gaps waiting for things so they could be absolutely sure that something loaded before it goes and checks for it and all that. And so I'm hoping that I can avoid those at all costs, and maybe keep a nice fast end-to-end test. I definitely probably would have been completely against end-to-end testing, except I just have this vision in my head of like all these cool things being built in front of my very eyes and during the end test. So, anyways, so we're right at 20 minutes. So I am at B plus range, and I think I'm gonna go with my B plus. Um, right? Is that right? No, B minus. I guess I'm at C plus because I think under 10. No, it really shouldn't be under 10. I think it should be under 15 is an A, and then under 25 is a B, a solid B, and then under 30 is a C, and then under from 30 to 40 is a D, and anything longer than 40 is an F. So I've got my B, right? It was like 50, under 15 is an A, under 25 is a B. So I have a nice solid B right now. I'm going to stay with that. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Bye.